answering a question I get a lot. What makes agility? So this isn't something that's talked about in my normal program because the program actually builds world-class agility. Here's why. And this is just my theory, but the first thing people have to understand on agility, let's go ahead and get, I think lighting's better from here. Let's go ahead and get a look at my legs. So what makes us move from side to side is not reaching with those muscles. All the agility work you see commonly done is all about the outside of these hips. But what actually makes you move laterally is the VMO pushing to go that way. So right off the bat, the stronger you get your VMO, the harder you can push to go a certain way. And if you think about speed ladders as agility, that's more just footwork. And look at point number 2, sport. You are so much better off actually mastering what the top athletes are doing in your sport footwork-wise, meaning you want to have the foot quickness of Michael Jordan, duplicate his moves, not a speed ladder. Literally the slowest athletes I've ever trained were the best at speed ladder. And what I mean by this, they could go through a speed ladder like lightning. They're so bad genetically speed-wise that they channeled all their energy and work ethic into speed ladders, but we're still super slow on the court. So speed ladder is a great drill if your sport is speed ladder. If your sport is not speed ladder, and right now it's not a sport, so 0 people on earth need a speed ladder, and any sport is going to have its own footwork, okay? The guys best in the world with the soccer ball have mastered their footwork with the soccer ball. So right off the bat, VMO, you physically cannot move that way, at least not in a functional manner. You can do an old man agility, but what actually makes you move a certain way is your VMO pushing that way. So VMO plus mastering the movements of the sport alone. I put these in order of importance because right there, you could already get world-class agility for sport just with those 2. But let's take a look at something, which is as you open out, imagine if you had no groin flexibility. You could have the strongest VMO in the world. You could practice your sport as much as you want. You can't move laterally unless your groin can open out. So the stronger the VMO, the more your groin can open. And I put groin/piriformis, and I'll show why. Shoot from like there, it's gonna show, look, your bulge is gonna be showing on this. So right here, glutes against the wall, a simple test, I call it the Manu Ginobili test. Can you get your knees to the floor? Ideally without assistance. So I'm pretty close. If I put some assistance, now look, you can put dumbbells on there, plates, this is shown. I'm putting resistance down and I'm applying resistance up. By strengthening this range, it's a lot easier to get the flexibility, but knees to floor. Now, if you look at this going down, if your piriformis is tight, you might not even be able to get your groin open. So you need a certain amount of piriformis flexibility. You know you have enough if you can have a 90-degree angle, back leg completely straight, head to ankle, and you can work this. I sit in bed. You start from a 90-90, you reach back, you turn this way, you can go here. This is a test, again, that has its own video, but you can see the point. If your piriformis is too tight, you might not be able to open up your groin. So that is a factor. Now, the 4th factor, when you push a certain way, your ankle is often in a really stretched position this way. And it's kind of freaky with weights to work that position of your ankles, but there's actually a drill you can do where you get into a position and then you reach your knee as far as you can a certain way. So you actually go to what feels like an outer ankle sprain there, and then you reach that knee as far as you can, and you go back and forth, outer, inner. So this is part, and you'll see like a lot of, in basketball, for example, you see it in football, soccer, you'll see a lot of the most amazing moves. The guys have incredible ankle pronation, supination, ability to go side to side. So you can actually do it as a drill like that. And then lastly, hip flexors. And what I mean by that, a lot of agility is then even crossing over steps. And the weaker your hip flexors are, well, you can't, even if you can go side to side and all this, if you don't have hip flexors, you're often making these moves and trying to go for it. You have to pick your legs up. So if you want world-class, if you're doing speed ladders, let me put it this way. If you're doing speed ladders, but you cannot hold your body off the ground, you're wasting your time because you're not doing what, according to physics, you might get really good at going like this. But go ahead and look at a sport. A sport isn't played right there. And even this part is with your ball itself. So hip flexors would be the last step. Let's take one last look. Again, this is just a question I get a lot. This is all part of how we train at ATG. We get world-class VMO, world-class groin piriformis flexibility, world-class ankles, world-class hip flexors. And if you see here, points 2 and 4, well, depending on your sport, like points 2 and 4 go hand in hand, meaning you're already gonna have that ankle ability if you're doing your sport work right. It's more like if someone's had ankle sprains in the past, and now maybe they don't realize it. So maybe when they do a crossover to the left, their right ankle stretches, but maybe they've had left ankle sprains, and when they go to the right, they don't do it, and they wonder why they have a weaker right crossover. It's just an example. So you may need this drill, and I do advise replacing any extra agility work that's more wear and tear on your joints that's not directly making you better at your sport and directly mastering the footwork you need. So there you go. That is my theory on what makes agility.